And what can all of us do to take action, never mind just sort of being more careful about what we eat and trying to find products that are sort of better for us? Are there other steps that we all can do as a society or even, as a community to try to change this?
Well, I mean, the first step would be to shop at your local farmers market if you have one. Not every community has one, but farmers markets have grown. There are something like 10,000 farmers markets in the U.S. now, and 10 years ago there were 500. So I think if you can support a local farmer, if you can buy things that are grown locally, that's the first step. Otherwise, you can also try to shop in stores that support sustainable agriculture. Stores like Whole Foods do a really big effort, and they do a really good job trying to do that. Try to avoid buying products from all those big, 3 or 4 food industry giants. If you look online, there are websites that will list the parent company of all the smaller companies, and it's very tricky and it's very deceptive because there are brands out there that you think are, the good, healthy brands. I'm not going to name names in case I get it wrong, but most of those have parent companies who are Kraft, General Foods, General Mills, Monsanto. So, do your research, really look around. But basically, if you shop, like I said, the perimeter, you actually buy the real food, buy vegetables, buy fruit, buy meat, buy milk. You're not really going to run into that so much because you're not buying the processed industrial products.
You had a segment recently about diet, light, zero, or healthy foods and how deceiving those labels are. Explain why.
Well, on the last episode of my show, I talked about that. Anytime you have to take a food and remove something out of it to turn it into a, so-called diet or light or healthy product, you're altering it and you're manufacturing and you're manipulating the food and you're manipulating the public. Think about how for thousands and thousands of years we just ate. We ate food and we moved around and everybody was fairly healthy and everybody was fine. And the rise in obesity in the U.S. parallels the rise of all of these diet, light, low-fat products. So they're obviously not doing anything to help us, and they're really just sort of backfiring in there to hurt us. So, the food industry sort of produces all this junk and all this stuff that makes us really fat, and they create all this foodiness, right? I talk about foodiness. And so they create a foodiness problem, and then they create a foodiness solution to that problem by then creating the diet version of those foods so they can then sell that back to us again, right? And then most of them are probably connected to the pharmaceutical industry, so then they create yet another solution to a foodiness-created problem, which is them selling us back all the drugs that we need to treat the diabetes and the heart disease.